Welcome back, you guys. And in the last episode, I was talking about the initial location. When you guys first get onto a server, you need to go stake out your location just a little bit of ways from the starting area. The later you are on a server, sometimes the little further out you have to go. So we get our little 5x5 area carved out of the hillside, get some of our stuff set up, throw down a wooden chest so we can unload our gear. And I'll put this one over here. Wow, I'm getting lag. So we'll offload all our saplings, any of the seeds that we have for right now. Hopefully by this point you've already got a pick and you've mined out your area. Hopefully, if you did it by hand, I am sorry. And hopefully you've upgraded it to the stone pickaxe so you can get to work. So after you've made coal, got some torches set up, got quite a few put back for resource gathering, I like to do what I call the grand staircase. And what that usually consists of is a 3x3 tunnel going down every 5 spots. So, wow, I'm sorry for the lag, you guys. So I'll usually dig 2 back to kind of give me a little entryway to the tunnel. And what's great is with the 5x5 method, you can do that on each wall. When we go back over to my base, I will show you. So then after I dig that second one back, I go down one, clear it out. If I need to, I throw a torch up on the wall, just to keep it lit and prevent monsters from spawning. And then I make just another 3x3 area in the wall. And then I go down one. That way it gives you plenty of height to add an actual set of staircases if you want. Or you can set up 2 staircases and a rail system. I've done that before. And typically what I tend to do when I make this is I go down every 5 levels and just make another 5x5 room as a kind of like a landing pad. And that way, if I want to, I can choose to go another direction, or I can continue going straight. I can build rooms off the side. It just gives me more choices of what I want to do and where I want to go. It looks like we ran into a cave. So we might not do that here, but let me take you back to my spawn, or my starting base that I've chosen. Let me get out, and I fall into the hole. But yeah, like I said in the previous video, when I choose my area, one of the main things I look for is sand, gravel, and clay. As you see, I've got a nice big vein of clay at the moment over there. I haven't harvested it all. That way if, someone else needs clay on the server, I have access to it. So let's close up here. Eventually, I'll probably put an iron door or a fence gate right there. But like I said, until I have the resources, you know, I don't deal with wood doors until later. Excuse me. So, and like you see here, I do got my 5x5 room, and I've chosen kind of to offset my initial staircase. And yeah, I was a little off on this one. I probably could easily bring it down, but I'm not going to worry about it. So then I make another 5x5 landing, and this usually about 10 to 15 down from my entrance is where I'll generally make my crafting and farm area. But that comes a little later when I've got my iron smelted and all that taken care of. So as I've gathered seeds, I would start a farm usually right outside. If I have to, I'll make a clay bucket for water if that option is available to you. But if I can, I'll use an iron bucket. So I'll continue digging down every 5 levels, make a little platform. And I just happen to kind of like spiral staircases for some reason. So I always head off in the right direction. That way when I get down to whatever level I want, I can dig back this way off to the side. Ooh, a slime. Hey, come here. And like, if you read into, what level ores spawn at, I mean, once you have a staircase like this, you can go down any direction. And as you can see, I've done some mining already, tunneling. Quite a few people have. There's another set done by someone else around here as well. And then as I'm going down, if you pay attention to your mini map, you can kind of see where caves are, lava sources, things to kind of keep in mind as you dig down and decide to expand this as an initial base until you've got the resources completely up and systems up that you can go out and create a open world base, what I call them. And by the time you get down to the bottom, you should have a good amount of iron, hopefully. I mean, I've ran into a bunch of iron and other ores as I've dug down just the staircase alone. And, even looking through different items, to get redstone, that's usually near lava. So I dug to lava. And knowing I was going to need a lava source soon, it was a win-win. Unfortunately, I did not find redstone on my initial search. I think I've only found a handful of it so far out of all the tunnels I've dug. So, anyway, that's usually how I first get started, digging my grand staircase. If I have farms outside, then I'll tend to those during the daylight. As soon as I can, I try to get better armor, better gear. And once I've got a little bit of iron, I'll make my initial tools so I can go out and gather my clay, sand, and gravel to make. Well, you should already have some gravel. Some sand, hopefully you've ran into some sand down below. If not, get some sand and clay. Clay is hard to find, so you might have to have a wide area. So gather that stuff. I usually, start off with up to 2 stacks. You can do it, I think you can do it with 1 stack of each to make the grout. So let me go down here. I know I got the resources set aside. Do 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 do. And we'll just make a little bit since I don't need a lot of grout at the moment. Okay. Nope, I got some right here. So let's look at the recipe for grout. Grout. 1 clay, 1 sand, 1 gravel makes 2 grout. And that's what you need in order to make all your Tinker's Construct smeltery. Once you got the smeltery up, you've got an access to lava. Things get a whole lot easier, and you can get rid of quite a bit of your other items that you have, or get rid of quite a bit of your gravel, not gravel, bleh, cobblestone, sorry, in order to make your smeltery quite a bit bigger. Because, yeah, with the rarity of clay, having to switch to making seared stone to complete your smeltery and make it bigger so you can fit more items in there, and that's like top priority on getting started, other than getting a steady supply of food and cotton if you really can. So getting started, like I said, after you find your location, digging down, before you even dig too deep, maybe a couple levels, finding the steady food source from the seeds you've collected, hopefully along the way. Hopefully you still have a bunch of them. 1 or 2 wheat seeds can really get you started, because they will drop extra seeds. It may take a little time, but if you think about it, 1 wheat is 1 loaf of bread. So we take that, all I do is throw it in my little crafting grid here, get some wheat flour, and throw that wheat flour right into a slab furnace. And that's going to make us 1 bread. And food is survival in this game, I kid you not. So there you go, 1 bread. And if you have an area like this in which you can get some water, whether it's with a clay bucket from the outside source or an iron bucket, you can do the 9x9 grid. So 4 out from each direction of the water source. Take your hoe, plow it, and you can have an indoor farm and be completely safe while you build up everything else. You know, other than the grand staircase, a farming area, and an area to build my Tinker's smeltery, which I will go over in the next episode, are my first priorities when I first get on a server. Yeah.